I'm standing in the flight path of a daring aviator who took to these skies 1,000 years ago. Find out more in just a moment. Today, a green-fingered homebuyer goes in search of the perfect garden paradise.
Pond, greenhouse, vegetable garden.
Oh, this is nice.
This is very nice.
But her property wish list seems to be a movable feast.
Let's get this right, because originally you said, oh, basically I'm going to live in the kitchen diner and I'll have one more room. Now you want a piano room and
a study.
But, no, I don't need a piano room, but I need space for a piano.
Today we're in Wiltshire, and this is Malmesbury Abbey, where in the 11th century there was a truly amazing attempt at human flight. A brave, or you could say foolhardy, Benedictine monk by the name of Elmer strapped wings onto himself and jumped off a tower to prove that humans could defy gravity. He managed to stay in the air for an amazing 15 whole seconds and travel 200 metres before crashing to the ground and breaking both his legs. So it wasn't a complete success, but it was literally a groundbreaking moment in Wiltshire's history. Sitting pretty in the southwest of England, landlocked Wiltshire is surrounded by 6 counties, including Somerset, Gloucestershire and Dorset. It may not be as recognised as its neighbours, but it's still got plenty to shout about. Much of its landscape is farmland, with sweeping 360-degree views over crop-filled fields, dense woodland and grazing livestock. Many of the county's perfectly preserved villages, like Laycock and Castle Combe in the northwest, are steeped in history, and visiting them is like stepping back in time. Stone houses with brick chimneys stand tall along narrow lanes, wooden beams protrude from whitewashed facades, and ornate windows gaze out from an eclectic mix of buildings in shades of red and brown. And Laycock also has an interesting story to tell. It's provided a backdrop for 2 Harry Potter movies at the resplendent 13th century Laycock Abbey. Together, this blend of beautiful countryside and magnificent architecture gives Wiltshire a unique look. If you'd like to swap the clamour of the big city for the tranquility and charm of Wiltshire, you're going to have to dig deep, because the average price for a detached house here is just under £300,000, which is £33,000 above the national figure. And with house prices rising, this is a good time to be buying. So let's meet today's buyer and find out what attracted them to the rural charms of this county. Gardening enthusiast Rosie has enlisted the help of sister-in-law Kaz in her search for a new home. She's decided to wave goodbye to the Victorian house she's lived in near Clapham Common in southwest London for the past 8 years.
It's a lovely area, it's very quiet, very green, and I love London. But it's time for something different, it's time for a change.
Rosie's pleased to have a kindred spirit to help her move away from the city.
It's really nice for me because I didn't have a sister. And so having a lovely sister-in-law is fantastic because it, you know...
We can have some girly moments.
We can. Kaz is really good at houses. She loves property.
We have a similar taste.
We have similar taste in it.
Houses.
And so I respect her views as well.
It's Rosie's #1 hobby that's the driving force behind her move out of London.
What I'm looking for is a much bigger garden. I've become a very keen gardener, and I've done a lot of work on my garden, and it even has its own website and blog full of video, and it can come with me wherever I go. And so the blog will continue with the new garden.
Our buyer isn't leaving the big smoke on her own, so the pair have 2 others to consider in the move.
I will be moving with my 2 dogs, Pickle and Lottie. I hope that they will enjoy it because they'll again have a much bigger lawn, much bigger garden to play in, and obviously countryside walks.
She may be taking her 4-legged friends with her, but sociable Rosie will be moving to a new area and leaving her many London friends behind her.
I'm not going to know anybody when I get there. You know, this is a sort of new life for me. So I've got to make new friends, meet new people. And so I'm determined to join lots of clubs. You know, the gardening club, the tennis club, the acting club, the bridge club, whatever it is.
Any club that's going?
Not quite, but depends.
Although Rosie's lived in London all her adult life, she was brought up in the country and is looking forward to moving closer to her roots.
I'm looking to move to Wiltshire because it's a beautiful county It's within striking distance of London, and it's a little bit closer to my family in Worcestershire than London is.
Oh, it'll be lovely. It means we can see a lot more of her. The children adore her and would love to come and stay.
They'll be very welcome.
So, with her house sold and the 16,000 followers of her gardening blog ready to read about her escapades in a new garden, our buyer is raring to go.
I think it's time to move on a bit, don't you?
It's very exciting.
It is very exciting.
Rosie's happy to consider anywhere in Wiltshire as long as she's not too remote and ideally on the edge of a village. So before we start our search for a kitchen with a view, I want to chat to Rosie to find out exactly what she's dreaming of. Welcome to Wiltshire.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, Rosie, it's your house tour, but I'm very conscious that you're here to give moral support,
Yes.
Kaz. Where's your speciality? Is it more the houses or the garden?
The houses, definitely.
What are you looking for in the house?
I'd like to have 3 to 4 bedrooms, a very large kitchen dining room, if possible, kitchen breakfast room.
Everyone loves kitchen dining.
They do.
With French doors, or the possibility of creating French doors, directly onto this beautiful garden.
So this is so you continue your garden blog, so you can rush out and film things.
Yes.
And 4 bedrooms? That's quite a lot of bedrooms.
You mean for one person?
Yes.
Well, I mean, I have quite a lot of clothes, but I have a very large family.
So it's basically for you to come and stay.
We're all going to come and stay with Rosie.
Now, tell me about the garden. What's your sort of daydream of your perfect garden?
Well, it would probably be a third to a quarter of an acre. Not too huge.
What about the location? Are you looking for something remote or a bit more villagey?
I'm looking for villagey, and sort of edge of village like everybody else. Because I'm single, I want to be able to join a community.
Do you think she'll settle in?
I'm sure she's
You
settling.
seem quite sociable.
She's very sociable.
I am quite sociable.
What else? Are there deal breakers?
Yes, broadband. And so the broadband has to be at a reasonable level.
How do you see your role in these house tours? I mean, clearly Rosie has some strong opinions.
she does have strong opinions, but I think we also have quite similar taste.
Kaz is very good at this, and she will sort of contradict me.
Does she listen when you contradict her?
She does after a while.
Persistence is the key, I remember that.
But the other thing is that thatched cottages are something
Yes.
I'm not really interested in for 2 reasons. One is the expense of the thatch, but the other is they're always very eaved at the top floor, and I have quite a large art collection with big paintings, and so you can't hang them on short walls.
So thatch is a no-no. Tell me about your budget.
I can stretch to 600,000 if it's sort of ready to walk into.
So £600,000 all ready to move into.
Yes.
Well, we do have some lovely properties.
How exciting.
Excellent.
And it is a beautiful county and a beautiful weather, perfect house viewing weather.
Indeed.
So let's not hang around. Let's go and view some.
Okay.
Follow
Perfect.
Rosie has a substantial budget to swap her city pad for a country dwelling, but she is expecting her money to stretch quite far. She wants a 3 to 4 bedroom period property with a large kitchen diner with doors opening onto a well-kept garden. Good broadband speeds are important to be able to keep up her gardening blog, and she'd love to be near a vibrant village where she can become a face in the local community. We've scoured the county and selected 3 fantastic properties to help Rosie make the transition out of the capital. And the house's price tag will only be unwrapped after she's paid it a visit. Our last stop will be to the Mystery House, which should both shock and please Rosie in equal measure. We're beginning our tour of Wiltshire in the southwest of the county in the village of Hindon, 19 miles west of the city of Salisbury, and located in a designated area of outstanding natural beauty. Award-winning Hindon holds the title of best-kept village in Wiltshire. In the mid-18th century, a fire ripped through the village, burning many buildings to the ground, and charitable donations helped rebuild it to what it is today. It has a great community feel with many clubs and 2 pubs for locals to get to know one another. Just behind the high street is our first property.
Here we have property number 1.
Wow. Really cute.
Very pretty.
I love the mix of the stones and the brick.
Yes, local stone from the local quarry.
Yeah.
Originally, this house was 17th century and actually would have been, well, it was a thatch. But luckily for you, they stripped the thatch off. Or actually, it was burnt off in the 1700s. It was 2 cottages and it's been converted into 1.
Immediate impression is the garden's quite small.
Yes, this is not all of the garden.
Good.
Shall we have a look inside?
Love to.
The rest of the garden is concealed behind the character cottage, to be revealed later. But first the inside, and the burning question is, will the kitchen live up to Rosie's great expectations as the most important room in her house?
Wow.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Gosh, that's amazing. No, this is wonderful, and look at that size. I can sit and work there and look out and go out of the French doors. Perfect.
And if you come through here, this will be your sitting area with your French doors.
Wow.
That's
How did you
beautiful.
find this? It's amazing.
This is beautiful.
It is.
Through here we have a utility room. Can you imagine yourself living here?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, importantly for you, the present owners have told me that they have 10 megabytes per second download speeds here.
Oh, wow.
Is that good?
Yes.
Exactly what you need.
Folding doors from the kitchen lead through to the sitting room.
It used to be a sort of UPVC conservatory.
Yes.
And the present owners have put these beams in and sort of taken it right up into height and made a sort of permanent building.
Ah, bless them.
lovely.
I
Yeah.
hate conservatories.
But what I do like about this house is there's glass everywhere, on every side is
Yeah.
windows.
Lots of light.
I mean, I asked for one set of French doors onto a garden.
You've got
This is two.
another one.
You're already doing 200% better than I expected.
I must say I'm delighted. Rosie certainly knows what she likes and what she doesn't, and we already seem to have struck gold in our first house. But I don't want to talk too soon, though. I just hope she's as happy with the first floor as we walk through the hallway study and head upstairs.
This end is your private master suite,
Wow.
completely separate
That's
from the rest of the
nice.
house, with a door at the bottom, so you can be completely private.
Yes.
Lovely
nice.
big ensuite sort of wet room, bathroom.
Fantastic. But from a small double bedroom in London,
Yes.
this is somewhat tighter.
Well, let me talk you through the bedrooms, because in the guest wing you have a double and a small single, and then a very nice bathroom for that wing. So it's really sort of 2.5, 3 bedrooms if you're an estate agent. But there's also planning permission longer term above where the log burner is to take that out a little bit further and up. So you could effectively create a 4th bedroom.
Rosie's enthusiasm hasn't carried upstairs, but I can't wait to show her the garden, which, with the kitchen, is the most important part of the property for her.
This is the entirety of your garden, this portion and the bit on the other side. So this is it.
But you've got 2 lots still, which is nice.
Where's my greenhouse? Where's my pond?
but
For a start,
you
you
have
didn't
to-
mention a greenhouse and a pond in your wish list, but anyway,
I'm a
go on.
gardener. I can have a I propagate. I need a greenhouse.
You can create one.
But it's got to fit on the lawn somewhere. I mean, it could go here.
The greenhouse can go at the front. There's a shed there too.
It's going to be very difficult to plant as many trees and as many roses and shrubs and things like that as I need in this garden.
I mean, it's very pretty. Look at it.
It is very pretty.
The house seemed to score high points, and the garden obviously is a question mark, but the other factor is, of course, the money. How much do you think this property is on the market for?
I think about 545.
I would say 465.
OK, so this is on the market for 595.
Whoa.
That's a lot for a kitchen.
You can look as cross as you like at me, but I didn't put it on the market at that
I
price.
thought it'd be slightly less just because it's not quite so big. But it is in a lovely spot.
It is in a lovely spot. It's in a lovely spot. It's a wonderful, wonderful kitchen that meets the brief totally.
But why don't you have a look around, and then I'll meet you at the front.
OK,
Thank you.
thank you.
There you go.
This rather unusual stone and brick cottage is just £5,000 under the top end of our buyer's budget. And although it doesn't quite give her the amount of land she'd like to feature in her blog, the fabulous kitchen is what her dreams are made of. The property's right in the heart of the village, where sociable Rosie could become part of the local community.
OK, this is a sort of guest bedroom. I mean, it's a good size for a guest bedroom.
It's a deep cupboard, so that's not too bad.
I was very excited when I first walked up. It's in a lovely area, so I was very excited about the possibility of a house in this village, definitely. When I first walked in, I thought, gosh, this is the house I want to live in. And because I live in the kitchen. And so the kitchen is incredibly important to me, and this meets my brief for the kitchen more than 100%.
When we walked through the gate, I thought it was a beautiful property. And it was off the main road, which was good, because you've got 2 little dogs. And I just thought it looked perfect.
I'm afraid, this is nowhere near 1/3 of an acre, and it's really just about twice the size of what I've got in London. That's not enough of a change. This would be a real downsize. And downsizing really isn't part of the brief.
Ladies, are you ready to leave?
Yes.
You can pull the door behind you.
Right.
How are you feeling?
Disappointed.
Oh, I hate that. Still, we've got more houses to see.
Yes.
Come with me.
Garden enthusiast Rosie can't wait to get to work on a new garden. And to find out how she could fill her new grounds with rare and beautiful plants and flowers, we've sent her and Kaz to West Wiltshire to meet plant hunter Tom Mitchell. He started up his unique and exciting nursery 6 years ago. Here he preserves around 8,000 endangered species he's collected from all over the globe.
Oh, wow, look at these. Now, I recognise these. These are beautiful peonies. These aren't endangered species.
Well, I'm sure they won't take that personally. They're extraordinary peonies. There are probably only 5,000 plants of this entire species in the wild, and yet now, thanks to plant hunters, it's common in gardens. So this is an example of a plant that's already been saved.
Tom sells the plants he's grown from seed in the hope he'll encourage people to be more adventurous in their gardens and keep these exquisite examples of nature alive.
I want people to use their gardens as arks, as places to create sort of botanical zoos where they can help in their own back gardens in a positive way to contribute to the conservation of these plants in the wild.
Tom's following in some very famous footsteps. Britain's first plant hunter was Captain Cook's botanist, Joseph Banks, who returned from Australia in 1771 with 1,300 new plant species, changing our landscape forever.
Now, that's not a peony. What's that, Tom? That looks more unusual.
When you're plant hunting, you're always there at the time of year when the plants are in seed, not in flower. So it's often impossible to identify them. So we know it's a celastrus, which is a kind of climber, but we don't know which species. In fact, for all we know, this could be an undescribed species, completely new to science. And this pot here, which Rosie is about to pot on, could be the only pot of this species in the world. So
Right.
No pressure, Rosie.
It's taken these seedlings grown from seeds that Tom brought back from Vietnam 2.5 years to flourish. And he's going to show Rosie and Kaz how to separate and repot them.
Do you trust me?
This plant's future is in your hands, but
No pressure, Rosie.
no pressure. Have a go.
Our hands.
Right, so the easiest way to break apart the root ball is to gently drop the whole thing onto the table. Turn it round and drop it again. You'll find that the roots naturally separate. Give it a go. That's right. Perfect. Now, you might want to put gloves on at this point. The plant isn't poisonous, and nor is the compost, but there are insecticides and chemicals in there. Once you've done that, you can tease the root ball apart into 2 or 3 pieces. Don't worry about doing a bit of root damage. It'll repair itself. And then go to the individual seedlings, hold them at the base, and pull them apart from the root ball.
Can I take 2?
You can, and then you can separate them again.
I think the fact that it's the only one you've got, I think, puts added pressure.
Perfect. There you go. You've
Will that
got
do?
2 perfectly healthy, happy seedlings. Now, if you hand one of those seedlings to Kaz, and with your left hand, just fill the pot with compost, raise the plant up a bit so that it's at the right level, overfill the pot a bit more, and then tap the pot on the table, and it levels, and when we've watered that, it'll be back down to flush with the surface of the pot. Perfect. 10 out of 10.
Very good.
Thank you.
Conservation of this plant is a slow and elaborate process. As they grow, these seedlings will be repotted in a larger pot a further 3 times, making them ready for sale in 2 years' time.
So, Rosie, have I inspired you to turn your garden into a botanical art?
I think you certainly have convinced me to start doing that, and certainly the beauty of some of the species plants you've shown me sort of is astounding, and they're so unusual that I would love to be able to grow those, yes.
Something quite therapeutic about doing this.
That's what gardening's for.
For our second property, we're travelling to the west of the county, to the village of Sutton Veny, just 3 miles southeast of Warminster, and 20 miles northeast of the cathedral city of Salisbury. Found in the Wylye Valley, Sutton Veny is surrounded by farmland and fields perfect for a gentle stroll with the dogs. The village, with its assortment of architectural styles, is shrouded in history, with the Grade II listed St Leonard's Church dating back to the 12th century. A lane leading from the centre of the village takes us to our second property, a house of 2 parts.
Is it the whole house?
It is the whole house.
Nice lane.
Lovely lane, really pretty. Views onto the fields.
Sutton Veny is a lovely village. I think you know it.
Yes, I do. I have actually looked at a property in the village, sort of further up, and I've driven through this village a lot. I think I may have seen this property online, but not actually come to visit it.
Well, it may surprise you.
Okay.
In terms of the house, historically quite interesting because you've got an older part of the house, which dates from the 18th century, and then a second house that was built next to it as a sort of companion, almost like 70 years later, so in the 19th century. Now, of course, it's knocked through into one big property, and then the current owners have added this sort of carport on the side.
That is my favourite style of...
It's very nice.
The sort of stone and the brick around the
Yes,
windows is
I
my
like that
favourite
too.
type of...
And a beautiful
House building
wall
around here.
along the front.
Yes,
Well, you were a bit disappointed with the garden with the last property, so we're going to start with the garden here.
lovely.
A perfect garden is crucial to Rosie, so rather than leaving the best till last, I want her to get excited straight away, which will hopefully stand us in good stead once we step inside.
So you wanted some views.
Oh, ready-made pond.
Pond, greenhouse, vegetable garden.
Oh, this is nice.
This is very nice.
This is nice because you could do lots with this. This is more you.
Yeah.
Here you do have neighbours, which I think is quite important for
Yes.
you, but it's much more embedded in the countryside itself.
It's a much better setting. It's a very peaceful, very pretty setting.
Good. So should we look inside the house?
Yeah, love to.
Well, my little plan has worked, and I think I've got both Rosie and Kaz on side. Now I just need the inside to live up to its outdoor counterpart.
Step in. Now, this is going to be hard to compete with the last kitchen diner.
Oh.
But this is what it is. You've got the utility room, not French doors into the back garden yet, but a stable door.
Yes.
And then there's kitchen area here, and then through, if you come through here, then this has really sort of been opened up. This was the back wall of the property, and they've knocked this through.
I think it's more you.
Do you? Why?
It's a bit more rustic.
She's calling you rustic.
I'm the Londoner. Remember?
I know, but you still like that rustic feel.
Yes, I do.
I feel like we're sort of bullying you to like it, but do you actually like it? Or?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's not the same wow as the last one.
It's different.
It's a different wow, but it might be a wow.
I must say Rosie is a tough cookie, but she said it might be a wow. Now, moving on to the front of the house is the sitting room, featuring striking exposed beams and an inglenook fireplace as its focal point.
Wow, it's quite a fireplace.
It's
a nice fireplace.
Nice big window and a double aspect. It's very interesting having the beams showing here behind. And this is great.
No, I mean, the fireplace is lovely.
With the old
Is it big enough?
red oven or whatever that is.
I don't mean the fireplace. I mean,
Yes, if it's a sort of front drawing room.
What do you mean the front drawing room?
if there's another drawing room.
I haven't mentioned the piano, have I?
Oh, no. There is not another room. This is your lot. So let's get this right, because originally you said, oh, basically I'm going to live in the kitchen diner and I'll have
Yes.
one more room. Now you want a piano room and
A study.
But, no, I don't need a piano room, but I need space for a piano. And if you remember, you said 4 bedrooms. That's quite a lot for one person. And I explained why.
keep your hair on.
OK.
Come with me.
Heading upstairs and a wooden staircase leads to a galleried landing.
This originally was a 4-bedroom property,
Right.
but the owners knocked through
OK.
all the rooms to make 2. So this was originally a bedroom, which they've turned into a sort of study. You could reinstate it as a bedroom by putting in a stud wall or have it as a study bedroom. There's another big bedroom there, which is their spare room. And then they turned another bedroom into a bathroom.
A door from the landing leads to the master bedroom overlooking the fields at the front of the property.
I like strip floorboards
Yeah.
and fireplace.
And it's got the little round window, which
Yes.
we saw from outside the
Yes.
front.
They wanted to put that little window there to let the morning light in. So
Yes. Lovely. And it's got beautiful windows throughout the house and lovely window ledges. It's a very charming room.
There may be less bedrooms than Rosie would like, but she still seems charmed by what she's seen so far. She's already fallen for the garden, but I want to take her outside again to show her the possibilities of this lovely home.
Even though it's in a conservation area, there is the possibility to pull out the back, so an extra 4 metres, so extend back really back to the end of this sort of like little terrace area, which would give you a very nice sort of like sunny sort of addition to the kitchen. So when they built the carport, it's a very finely constructed green oak construction, and it's got very strong joists. So the top part was always designed that it could be boarded over and turned into living quarters. Obviously, you probably want to put dormers in, but you see it's already got the window at the top. So there's the possibility that you could convert that into some more space.
It would depend on the price, wouldn't it?
Ah, well, you bring us around to that very issue. How much do you think it's on the market for?
I think it'll be about 525.
I think it's on the market for about 565.
Well, in this case, Kaz is completely right, because it's actually on the market for 525, which does give you, up to your top budget, another £75,000, which you could easily pull that out for this.
Yeah.
Why don't you have a look upstairs, because we didn't get to explore all the rooms upstairs, and as usual, I'll meet you at the gate.
All right, lovely. Thank you, Alistair.
Thank you.
A healthy £75,000 under the top end of Rosie's budget, this character cottage would give her plenty of change to make improvements and additions to the home to make it suit her. It may be smaller than she'd like, but there's the option to convert the 2 bedrooms back to 3, and it has a garden that would be a sanctuary for her and her dogs. Perched on the edge of a village, there are plenty of options for Rosie to have a full and fruitful social life.
Oh,
This is brighter.
good sized bathroom.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice modern suite. Nice window.
Yeah.
With a lovely view.
Nice view.
One of the best views in the house, actually. I love the garden. I love the village. I love the location. I love the bird song. I love the view. Fantastic. I just can't contemplate a house this small.
She has a lot of things, and she doesn't want to live in a tiny little cottage. She wants to be able to accommodate lots of guests that come to stay, have room to spread out, and I think she was looking for an extra room downstairs.
So peaceful here. I've been sitting here for 20 minutes and there's not been a single car going past. It's like having a garden that is a road. Hello.
Hello.
I was just saying how nice and quiet it is here.
It is lovely and peaceful.
But we're done, so shall we have a night off?
Okay.
It's the second day of our Wiltshire property hunt, and with a top budget of £600,000, London resident Rosie and her sister-in-law Kaz are searching for a house where Rosie can lavish her love of nature on a large garden. We'll be raising the roof when we reveal our mystery house.
Ta-da!
You were right, Kaz.
Oh.
It's got a thatch.
And I'll be adding fuel to the fire of a 100-year-old boiler.
OK, can I indulge my childhood steam engine dream and put some in?
You certainly can.
Another beautiful day of house hunting here in Wiltshire, and it was very painful to see Rosie's disappointment yesterday. The first house, garden too small, second house, the house too small. And it did make me think, she doesn't want to downsize, but even though Wiltshire is cheaper than London, I'm not sure it's half as cheap. So there has to be some compromises. Although, with the mystery house, we are doing our best to give her what she wants. A big garden, a big house, but, as always, with a twist.
For our final visit, we're travelling 7.5 miles northwest of Sutton Veny to the village of Corsley, just 10 minutes' drive from Warminster and close to the Somerset border. Corsley is in the shadow of the Longleat estate, with stunning views encircling it. The locality offers plenty of winding lanes and paths to go for brisk walks with the dogs, with a friendly pub to stop for refreshments before retiring home. And there's even a garden centre where Rosie could shop to her heart's content. With our mystery house, we're taking a bit of a risk and going slightly off brief, showing Rosie this picture-perfect workers' cottage.
Ta-da!
You were right, Kaz.
Oh.
It's got a thatch.
It's very pretty. Got your nice views.
Ah, look at the garden. And this is not all the garden.
Oh, how exciting.
right up to those trees at the back.
Ah, now that is exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for the mystery house, we thought we'd bring you to a thatch, because I think this property, it's only been on the market a week, and it gives a lot of what you're looking for.
Great.
Obviously, it's got a thatch.
Yes.
But you can see this is actually quite an unusual thatch in the sense that it's a double height house and then a thatch on top.
Yes. I love it. I love the black and white.
I do.
I think it's a very pretty shape.
Look, it's got like a little old pump thing.
Yes. Gosh, it's sort of quintessential chocolate box.
It is, isn't it?
Thatch cottage, isn't it?
It is, it is. Well, let's have a look inside.
Okay.
The exterior of this beautiful 4-bedroom Grade 2 listed cottage has already won Rosie over, despite the thatched roof she thought she didn't want. I just hope she feels the same about the interior, which is just oozing charm and character. The front door leads straight into the dining room.
Step inside into the 17th century.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Gosh. Amazing.
And you've got a study through here. That has the one with the stable doors. We thought this would be a lovely place for you to work because it's an office at the moment.
Right.
What are your first impressions?
I love it.
Really?
I do, yeah.
Because it's a very different offering from the first house, which was immaculately finished.
It doesn't need to be immaculately finished. As long as it's not structurally.
No, and it's got the space and the light.
Well, let's explore the sitting room.
Okay.
Remember, this was the outside wall of the original cottage.
Right.
And this is an extension that they've put on since they've lived here.
Okay. Lovely. It's very
It
nice.
is very nice.
Thumbs up.
Yes. Looking good so far.
Let's look at the kitchen.
Back through the dining room, a cosy snug leads to the all-important kitchen, which has windows to the front of the house.
This is where it gets a bit tighter.
Yes.
It does, but you could do things.
Yes, as long as one can knock walls down.
So
If one's allowed to.
Yeah, well, this is the
Yes.
other thing to remember. This is a listed building, but
Yeah.
Grade 2 listed. With consent, you can, of course, take out internal walls.
Yes.
But you'd have to have an RSJ or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then you'd have quite a long south-facing kitchen dining area.
Yes.
Which would be lovely.
Even though the kitchen's a bit small, we do have 4 bedrooms in this house.
A door from the snug takes us up to the stairway.
It's through here.
Unlike many thatched cottages, the upstairs rooms in this one have plenty of wall space for Rosie to hang her artwork.
This is actually quite a small room. It's not the biggest of rooms, but I just wanted to show you because it does illustrate that it has flat walls, just to prove that not all thatched cottages are Evie.
That's true.
And it's nice and sunny. It's nice
very
and bright.
cute. And it's quirky as well.
Yes.
It's not square.
No.
Which is rather nice.
Yes.
Across the landing is another room with a view to the front, one overlooking the rear, and the master bedroom plus ensuite, which is also at the back of the house. There's also a family bathroom. Back downstairs, and Rosie and Kaz had a glimpse of the gardens from the front, but at the back they'll get the full picture of this gorgeous cottage's setting.
It's lovely when you can have different parts of the garden,
Yeah.
isn't it? Lovely primroses.
This is one of my favourite bits of the garden because it's got this lovely view.
Oh, look at that.
So
Gosh.
this garden is very steeply raked and terraced. So you have 1, 2, 3 areas.
I think the views are fantastic. It's beautifully planted as well at the front. I think the roofs at the back, particularly the flat roof, could be a problem.
He has actually had planning permission to pitch this roof above the flat roof there, which is the master bedroom, but it would have to be thatched. How much do you think this property with its, well, they say it's 1/3 of an acre. I think it's probably a bit more, but anyway, how much do you think it's on the market for?
It's a tricky one. It's got 4 bedrooms. It's got the 1/3 of an acre. It's got fantastic views. I'll be consistent and say 565 again.
I would go possibly 615.
Interesting, because this property is actually on the market for £545,000.
Oh, Rosie.
Wow.
So under both your guesses, yours considerably.
Mine considering.
Why don't you have a wander around and I'll meet you out the front in the lovely sunny front garden.
Great.
Lovely.
Well,
Thank
come
you.
on then.
Mind the steps.
Yep.
Thank the Lord. I was really worried the kitchen was going to inflame Rosie, but actually she's got some really good ideas and it's a beautiful property and in a stunning location.
And at £55,000 under Rosie's top budget, she'd have plenty of cash spare to make changes to the property so it suits her and her needs. It's got just the number of bedrooms she wants, a fabulous garden, and it sits in the heart of a vibrant village.
Oh, well, this one is more tempting than the others, definitely. My feelings when I walked up was that it was quintessentially chocolate brooks, and it was the sort of perfect little thatched cottage, white, almost picket fence, and it is, in that sense, from the outside, till you get to the back. Front is quintessential, the back is not.
I think she was quite surprised because she wasn't looking for a thatch. So that was a good find. I think it's definitely a contender.
I could see myself living in this village, in this location, on this site. Whether I could see myself living in this house, I'm still not sure.
Have you had your thinking caps on?
Yes.
Ooh, that was a big sigh. There was a positive sigh or a negative
Oh,
sigh?
it was a sort of I don't know sigh.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'll settle for that, because we're going to take you away from here and we're going to find somewhere quiet where we can talk about all the houses.
OK.
On you go.
The diverse county of Wiltshire may be landlocked, but it has a very important waterway running through it. The Kennet and Avon Canal stretches for 87 miles, connecting Bristol on the River Avon to Reading on the Thames. Opened in 1810, it took 16 years to construct and was essential as a faster method than sea to transport goods between cities. Close to the canal's highest point, near Marlborough, sits the Crofton pumping station, a remarkable feat of engineering which allows boats to travel to the top of the hill and continue their journey.
Welcome to Crofton.
I've come to meet the pumping station's chairman, John Willis.
John, I've been to quite a few things on the Kennet and Avon Canal, but I've not been here. Can you tell me what's going on here? It looks like one of those amazing pieces of Victorian wizardry with pumps and bells, is it?
It is. It was built in 1809, and it houses the oldest working beam engine in the world.
And so the water is basically pumping from this pond here up. Is that correct?
That's right. This is the highest natural point of water, and it pumps the water from there just up 40 feet to the summit of the canal.
In the 1950s, the pumping station became redundant, and after a major restoration project was reopened in 1972. Today, it's a place of historic importance and attracts many visitors to witness how it's worked for over 200 years. At the heart of the operation is the boiler room, which generates the power to make the pumping possible.
Wow, look, they're like works of art.
It is a work of art. This is a Lancashire boiler. It weighs about 22 tons, and it holds 18,000 litres of water.
Wow. Mm-hmm. And in terms of the coal, how much do you use?
We use about 1.25 tons.
So it goes in there?
Yes.
Oh, that is very nice and warm, actually. Wow. OK, can I indulge my childhood steam engine dream and put some in?
You certainly can.
OK, here we go.
Brilliant. Well done.
So how hot does it get in there?
It's about 1,000 degrees.
The boiler heats water to create steam, which travels along pipes into the engine room.
Come through to the driving platform.
John uses ornate wrought iron levers to control the valves which let the steam into the engine, which starts the mechanism.
And now this is gravity pulling it back up?
That's gravity taking it back up again. But I'm controlling with how fast it goes back.
Oh, I see. Because this is the first thing of the day, you're sucking up water from the 40 feet.
Yes, but it's every stroke, it's going up about 6 or 7 feet.
The engine is like a giant seesaw. The steam pushes the piston of one end down, lifting the pump on the other end of the beam, drawing the water up 40 feet from the reservoir outside, before pumping it into a channel leading to the summit of the canal.
It's quite hypnotic, isn't it?
It is.
Slightly kind of gone into a trance watching it go up and down.
Yeah, it's a quiet old lady.
Oh, there you go.
There we go, it's now running by itself. Very simple, elegant piece of early automation.
Incredible.
Each time a boat passes, it must travel through 6 locks. And this handsome beam engine has to work for 10 to 15 minutes to replace the water at the summit that's been used to allow the boat to pass.
Wow, and there it is.
So this is the water coming out.
That is amazing.
So every stroke, a ton of water comes out.
And there's 10 strokes a minute,
About 10 strokes a minute.
so 600 tonnes an hour.
It's a lot of water.
So when this is not working, how does the water get up?
There's a very small electric pump down on the edge of the canal, which is about this big, doing the same job that this does.
Amazing. Well, I have to go and talk to some ladies about a house, but thank you so much for taking time out.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
I'm delighted and very relieved that Rosie liked the Mystery House. So let's go and find out what happens next and make sure she hasn't changed her mind. So tell me where you're at. Where have we left you after our week's house hunting?
I'm not really sure, is the truth. I definitely wouldn't buy house number 1 or house number 2.
Good. Let's move on to house number 3 then.
It's tempting because it's so beautifully located and has such a lovely garden. I'm concerned, though, about the costs involved in turning it into what would be more suitable for me.
Why so?
Well, because I would need to rejig the whole of the ground floor. Also, I'm sure I would have to do something about the flat roof, and that's got to be thatched.
Can I bring you in, Kaz? What do you think about what Rosie's just said?
I understand what Rosie's just said, but I do think house number 3 is worth thinking about. I mean, you couldn't pick a better location. It's in a beautiful spot. The gardens were just fabulous. You had front and back, sunny all the way round. Whereas you can do things inside a property, but you can't always find a good spot.
We didn't also cover the broadband when we were there. Do you happen to know?
It's not great for broadband. So you would probably have to budget in some satellite connection too.
Yeah.
So I totally take on board your concerns, particularly monetary concerns, although there was quite a bit of money in the pot. But what will happen next?
I think it's, as Kaz says, it's worth thinking about. I mean, we've only just seen it. But the one thing that didn't happen was that I didn't fall in love with it. I loved the garden, I loved the view, but I didn't fall in love with the house.
Well, in whatever little way we helped, I'm glad that we did. And I wish you all the best in your house hunt.
Thank you very much. We've had a wonderful time. And it's been great fun doing this and seeing the houses. So thank you so much.
Well, when you do find your perfect home, make sure you send us the details.
I will.
Rosie is a force of nature. I'm not entirely sure whether she didn't just tell us that we told her nothing new about Wiltshire, or whether we opened her eyes to some new possibilities, i.e. a thatch. In any case, it was a pleasure showing her and you around the county, so do join us next time for more Escape to the Country.
Not long after we met Rosie, her perfect country home came onto the market. It's on the Wiltshire-Dorset border, just south of Hindon, where she viewed our first house. And it's got the French windows opening onto the large garden she dreamed of. If you'd like to escape to the country in England, Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland and would like our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.